trying to lose weight alone, it can feel impossible. No motivation, no accountability, and temptations everywhere. But what if I told you that the secret of lasting weight loss isn't just the diet and the exercise? It's about a specific person and their support, meaning it could be that pain in the arse sitting right next to you who can be the difference between you succeeding in your diet and failing it. So in this video, I'll show you what having the right support does and why you need it, which will then make all the difference in reaching your goal. I'll also explain who else you can look to for help if you really can't stand working with your partner, because you do have other options. And finally, I'll explain in what ways you can use the support. So let's go. But first, you might be acting all macho and saying, support is for the weak-minded and the feeble, which is your own choice. But what I would ask you is, say you've been trying to lose weight all your adult life, like 5, 10, 15 years, or ever since you've had a kid, and you've been doing it yourself all that time. How much of that was a success? How many good habits are you still doing today? How much weight have you kept off? What foods do you love that you eat on a consistent basis, whilst maintaining your goals? What foods are you negating and restricting every day, and which ones are bad for you? And I'm going to suspect that most of the questions that I've just rattled off above would have some sort of negative answer to it. I'm just assuming anyway. Say that because otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here still looking for answers and watching me. And watching me reeks of desperation. You'd normally walk right past my video, because if you were successful already, you wouldn't need this advice or still be looking for it. Fear not, friend, I am not shaming. I'm just hoping you've now came to the realisation that you're finally in good hands with my advice, and realise it is okay for a bit of help. And if you want to go one step further right now, you can sign up to my free emails that will help you lose the weight that you've always wanted with your hectic and mental work and family life, and all the details are below. Back to my point though. There is nothing more rewarding than doing something yourself, but it comes with many risks and reasons to sack it off. And also no level-headed rational decisions are being made. Binging, failing on the weekends, over-restriction, weight not coming off quick enough, reducing calories too much, being too strict. So there is nothing wrong with asking for help from someone to finally get things moving, because there is actually something wrong with you living a life unhappily, if you ask me. So give the rest of this video a go, please. Before we carry on though, even though I'm saying you can ask for help, you still need to put in the legwork. Nobody's actually going to do the physical work for you. You can't be that lazy. But now we're moving nicely on to my first point. What does support do and why do you need it? Amongst many other main reasons such as getting your arse in gear, explaining to someone why you've not done something, what you're planning on doing for the next week, etc. The main thing it is going to give you is accountability. If you're the top dog and done this for years, you may even be accountable to yourself. But if you've been struggling up until this point, you probably want to avoid that option right now, because it's done nothing up until this point. Because you being accountable to yourself isn't really getting you anywhere just now. So the easiest and cheapest person you can include is your partner. You could say, hey pumpkin, I want to lose a few kilos to get back to feeling like my old self. It might be inconvenient for a few weeks, I might have to go to the gym at nights, etc. But it is going to benefit us all long term. Is that okay? And she should reply, absolutely. I would love to help you out. And the things that she could help keep track of, I'm going to mention later. But you actually might be thinking, I would rather punch myself in the willy than have my partner oversee my progress. It would just be a nightmare. And that's fine, because I have got you covered with that as well. Your partner, unfortunately, or fortunately, might not actually be a good idea for multiple reasons, despite them being the cheaper option. They might not want you to change. You might end up too sexy for them, you see. They basically might not give you the support that you're wanting, for whatever reason. Maybe because they cannot be bothered. They might genuinely have no interest in doing it because they're busy with their own work and watching the kids. They have got their own progress to worry about. Imagine you giving 100% and them giving you 70%. It's hardly screaming a team full of successfulness, is it? Because they might say something like, can we not just get a takeaway tonight? Jesus, go and just live a little. And it might not actually be like that. It could be the best thing that ever happens, and it might actually work perfectly. If it's not though, and it causes more aggro in your relationship, even more than usual, that's fine too, because there are a couple more options that you can look into. There is a skill and discipline for actually being that person to turn up and say, have you done everything today? Is there anything I can do? What do you need support with? And these couple of options are group coaching, basically a bunch of people who check in with someone who oversees everyone's progress and might have a prize at the end of it, for example. And these check-ins could be something like making sure you've hit your tasks for the day, like step count, cardio, have you been to the gym? What is your sleep like? Are you stressed? With this method, the responsibility lies more on you. What then hopefully happens is you create your own motivation and you have a little accountable community within that group. You basically motivate each other. But then who motivates a motivator, you might ask? What you could do is get yourself an individual coach, basically paying for a professional. One that is actually worth it and can provide results, because there are plenty out there that don't. And the big thing about the above is they are going to cost money. Group coaching is slightly cheaper because it is less hands-on, but it's still a community setting. It could be the very thing that you need. But if any of the above two are done right, I doubt you would ever need a PT or become obese again, because you'll know everything you need to know. So I would say it is worth the money. What I will do is let you on a little secret as well. PTs are basically con artists robbing you of your money, because they tell you things that you should already be doing, which is mental, right? But there are class ones that actually change your life. Also, this isn't me promoting my services. Get one that suits you. I'm busy enough without clients. As a whole though, group and individual coaching both have pros and cons, but ultimately they can work. And like I said before, it does largely come down to your effort and how much you put into it. Coaching is about like saying you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. Meaning that a PT can give you the perfect exercise plan and the perfect diet plan, but it's still on you to actually do the work. Where a coach actually trumps your partner is there should be zero sugarcoating or bias with their opinion, because really only the truth gets you results. They depend on you actually getting results. And again, you can moan about the cost, but a year of paying for a PT could give you a life where you never will struggle with your health again. So it really shouldn't be up for debate. So, finishing up, some tips and things to consider to make most of having some support. Big one is weekly or daily check-ins. You just pick your poison. There is no right or wrong answer. Daily check-ins can be a quick text or 2-minute chat or check-in, or a weekly check-in can be a bit more formal, a bit more of a longer format where you unload your week before and explain your week ahead. You would tell them your plans, what you're doing for this upcoming week. Are you going out? What foods have you got planned? When are you prepping your food? What calories are you eating if that's your goal? What is your weight doing? Do you need to change anything? Tell them your issues and what you're going to do about it. Tell them how your week is going. Tell them how your week is going to be different from the last and what you're going to do differently. A big one as well is don't avoid social occasions. Plan for them in your day. A diet can be difficult for some, so making sure you're still having fun is pretty important, and you might need a bit of support with that. I do implore you to do this, along with making sure you have some foods you enjoy in your day consistently. Another one is review your past week of food. What made you hungry? What kept you full? What gave you digestive issues? What foods gave you issues at the gym? Another big one is stress in your sleep. Talk to them about that and any issues you're having and how you're going to potentially solve them. You could also tell them how much of a pain in the arse your family's being. It is basically a low-key therapy session, but it is not as expensive as an actual psychologist, unless you're being coached by a celebrity. Hopefully not though, they are useless. And finally, if you're miserable and not where you want to be, change it up. And again, you might need support with this. Succeeding should trump most of the issues you might have in your head when it comes to dieting, because you're technically affecting your long-term health, and that is a goal you should do anything to achieve. So that should outweigh any hunger or a little bit of tiredness you're feeling, in my opinion anyway. But there are going to be times where things are just not working and you need to change it up. And all of the above is what I do with my clients as a bare minimum. So if you're interested in this level of dedication, get in touch. If not, that is cool, because I still have those 31 free emails that you can dig your teeth into, and the details for those are below as well. Now, despite me encouraging you to use your partner for a support network or a coach or whatever, you might need to put things on hold because of other commitments, and you need to disappear for a few days for work, and you might be wondering how to keep on track when you're away. Fear not, friend, because you may be worried you're going to shit all over your amazing progress, because you have no idea how to stay on track when you travel. So what I did do is I made this video right here that helps you stay on track. Even when you're a busy workaholic who lives their life out their suitcase, it is not impossible. You just need some advice on it. So I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, hope you like my haircut. And I also hope you've enjoyed this. And I'll see you in the next video.